Welcome to Out of the Ordinary with Jay, and it is October 1st, 2024, and I am with
Dave Johnson.
All right, Dave. What are your thoughts on aging? Like, and you can answer however you want, but things like what's the perfect age, health, happiness, just things about what's your thoughts on aging in general? I mean, we're all aging.
I think it's backwards.
Ooh, how so?
I think you grow up with all this youth that if you had the wisdom, you could get a lot of stuff done and do a lot more than you ever could. And
Right.
I think by the time you obtain that wisdom, you get to a point where
You're tired.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I've kind of thought sometimes like, it's like they give you a our co-producer is a cat that's moving the camera. It's pretty cool. But
she didn't like that angle.
no, apparently not. But yeah, I always thought like, you work like a dog until you have enough money to retire, only be able to not hike anywhere or travel anywhere.
Right.
When it'd be nice if, like, you turn 18, hey, here's a $50,000 credit card, go travel the world, do everything you want to do, and we'll work you till you're dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It
Paid
seems
off
backward.
when you're 70.
Yeah. Okay, so along the same lines on aging, or kind of, would you take immortality? Say somebody could come and give you a pill right now, and what that meant is you're in your current age and your current stasis, you're not going to get any worse, but you're immortal. Would you take it?
No.
You would not?
No.
How come?
Because then you never get to find out if or what is next.
Gotcha. So that's perfect. Lead into the next question. Question number 2. Is there an afterlife?
100%.
100%. Okay, what makes you... Okay, so that would explain why you wouldn't want immortality, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you so when you say absolutely, like 0 being no chance of an afterlife, 100 being 100% chance of an afterlife, where are you on that scale?
I'm 98, 99.
Oh, so way up there.
Yeah.
Okay, and what makes you convinced of this?
If you follow the laws of physics and you look at energy, and we are energy, and they've never been able to figure out what that conversion when we die goes to, it has to go to something.
Okay, now that is a super interesting answer, because as you can imagine, most of my answers I get to this are religious based.
Right.
Yours is not.
No.
So you're sort of the, I don't want to get this wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, matter can neither be created nor destroyed theory?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, it's never been proven otherwise that energy just ceased to exist or just popped up out of nowhere. And we are energy, so where does that energy go once this vessel dies?
Okay. Yeah, I could kind of see that. My concern is what form does that matter or energy take?
Well,
is it if it's a weed or sand, I'm not as interested. If it's you know what I mean?
Well, that's just it. It's like, do you still have the same consciousness without this vessel as you do with the vessel?
Right. And what do you think on that? No, maybe not.
No, I think absolutely.
So you think today's consciousness goes with you into the afterlife?
Yes.
Or the next life, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, cool. And what percent of that are you convinced that that's true, that the consciousness goes with you?
Well, if you look at all energy is basically trying to get to the next level higher of energy, almost like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
I think our lives are something that is helping our energy learn something to get to the next level of existence.
I gotcha. So kind of like, for lack of a better term, Buddhism reincarnation with a level up?
Yeah, I think Buddhism is very very
effect.
close. I mean, I think there's lessons you learn, and I think those lessons are things that teach you to your soul, or whatever you want to call it, be a little more energetic and be a little more high vibrational and have a higher energy level. And I think when you come into this vessel and then you leave this vessel, when you leave it, you should be a much higher energy level than you were when you came in.
Okay. And where did this idea come from? Is it like, because I know you have a kind of like a varied background between, you know, how you grew up to chemists, scientists, to, you know, what you do for a living, to, you know, some of the things you think about the paranormal. Like, so like is it just a combination of all those things that led you to this?
Yeah, so I mean, I've read books about, you know, people who have, you know, basically died on an operating table, and they've had all these visions where they've talked to people in it. And a lot of the stories are the same, where they've been told, it's like, hey, you planned out this life for years for you to learn something.
Right.
And, you know, whether you learn it or not doesn't matter, because you have infinite lives to figure stuff out and to learn things. And also I just think it wouldn't make sense for us to be energy to not be trying to go to the
Level
next
up.
evolution. I mean, it would.
It's evolutionary for sure.
Yes.
I mean, in theory, at least in the the idea of,
Yeah.
you know.
So you know, and some of it, you know, some of it is a lot of it's based science wise, like, okay, energy levels, that just makes sense. And then listening to other people's experiences, and you take, you know, when you have 1,000 people saying kind of the same thing that's happened to them, and none of them know each other, it's like, you know, now could someone just be writing a book and these people don't exist? Absolutely.
So do you, in your calculation here, how much of it would you describe, again, from your perspective and your idea, would you say is science-based and faith-based? Like, what's the mix there?
Yeah, you know what, and that's kind of why I say it's like, hey, you know what, if someone's writing this book and they fooled me, good for them. But I still have a basis that, you know, half of my belief of it is based in science.
Gotcha.
So, you know, if someone wants to say it's like, well, that could be fake. Well, it absolutely could be fake, but my basis is still science-based.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, some of these other questions might not be as relevant given the way we took a little turn there, but let's see if we can do it anyway. If you could travel, oh wait, sorry. What would you do if you found out you had only 1 year to live? And by the way, on any of these you can say skip, pass, or whatever.
I think I have to plan the year to figure out what could I do to make the biggest impact, and not necessarily for me, but, you know, what is it like, you know, how much money do I have left, and where can I put that to make the biggest impact to better humanity, animal
So
shelters.
you wouldn't go selfish, you'd go the other way.
But you know what, I think
So some people might say, you know, bring on the hookers and cocaine. You know,
you know what, I think, at least in my mind, helping people is a little bit selfish, because you get some joy out of it.
no doubt.
So,
No doubt.
you know, there is a selfish element to it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you are still doing good, and I think that's where the
Yeah,
selfishness comes in.
those are the win-win situations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If you could travel back in time, what would you change?
In my life, what would I
However
change?
you want to answer. A lot of people tell me buy Apple. That's what I get a lot.
I don't think I'd change a thing. I mean,
Okay.
I think if you're happy about where you are at in life, all those experiences, good or bad, that you've went through, are
That's where
brought
you're
you
here.
to that one spot. Now, I can understand if, hey, you're not really happy with your life, which I think there's
Sure.
always things, you know, we would all
Yeah.
like to be different, but if you went through a life without a challenge, what good would life be?
Well, your point is any deviation would put you not where you're at today, and you kind of appreciate where you're at today.
Right.
Kind of like that. If money was no object and you could bring people with you, where would you live? In other words, where would you, if you could live anywhere, no other considerations, what would you pick?
Caribbean, probably Turks and Caicos.
Okay. Nice area. Oh, this is a good one. What would you do one day if you woke up and everyone was gone without a trace? It's just you. Nobody else is around. They vanished without a trace.
What would I do?
Yeah.
I would start doing some scientific analysis of what the hell just happened, and see if I can figure it out.
And it would turn out they were gone without a trace.
Yeah.
It's stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? I guess I'd wander around. And,
Go to everybody's homes, see what they had to eat.
I don't know. I guess if you woke up and you knew for sure that everyone in the world but you was gone, but I think if you don't know that, I think you just travel trying to always find
figure it
someone
out.
else.
Sure, you'd be lost in the experience of trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, even if it said everybody's gone and it said definitely without a trace, don't bother looking, you'd still go out and look. You know,
What else would
you know,
you do?
what else are you gonna do, right? Okay. What is the purpose of life?
I think we already answered that, but I think
Okay.
it's to teach your energy level or whatever, to teach yourself lessons or to see, I think if it is true that we planned our own lives out and planned certain things, I think it's us wondering, hey, I wonder how I would react if I was put in that situation. And so I think we plan things out in our lives that you get put in that situation to see what you would do.
Interesting. Yeah, I like that. All right, your version of utopia. The perfect place, the perfect world, the perfect feeling. What is your version of utopia?
I guess someplace where you knew your food didn't have poison in it. You knew that your government was always looking out for your best interest. Where you knew that, anytime someone did a crime, they were held accountable. But I don't think a lot of that is happening.
I don't know where that's happening.
Yeah.
Maybe Switzerland.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not sure. Okay, what are your tips to a healthy and happy life? Or do you have any ideas about that?
Absolutely. I think number one thing is you have to be happy with yourself. If you are not happy with yourself, you're never going to be happy with anything else. And I think that a lot of people look for happiness and outside help from other people, where I think they need to look inward. And I think if you're happy with yourself and you're happy where you're at and who you are, you can benefit everybody else, because there's not something someone else can do to you that's going to make you think that, oh, hey, maybe I'm a piece of shit, or maybe I'm this, or maybe I'm that. It's like, if you definitely know who you are and you're happy with who you are.
What if you're not? What if you're unhappy or you're not happy with who you are? What do you do?
Then I think that's where, so many people are just scared to be by themselves. And I just wonder if it's because they don't want to face those thoughts. If you're not happy with yourself, you need to do some internal thinking, like, okay, what are the steps, or what is it that I can do to be happy with myself?
For sure, the world can be a very distracting place, right? Relationships, going to work, everything in between is a distraction. If you're left to your own devices, like, nobody else around, that inner monologue can be pretty gnarly to deal with for a lot of people. It's not always fun between the ears.
I think that's why people end up being alcoholics or drug addicts or something, because they get to a point where they don't want to have to deal with their own thoughts or who they are or anything like that. So they try to kill the pain.
For sure. I mean, I know it's a challenge for a lot of people, for sure. Okay, last question. Second to last. Do you get deja vu or any weird occurrences? Have you ever had anything like that? Let me ask the question, get specific. Do you get deja vu or weird occurrences?
I haven't had deja vu in a long time. I've had it before.
Okay.
As for weird occurrences, I know that I've stayed at what were called haunted hotels. And, I'm pretty mathematical, pretty scientific. So, if weird bumps and stuff happen, not a big deal. But
well, you're first most likely to chalk it up to the foundation is probably blah, 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 or whatever. That's your first inclination, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but in this one room, and I had experiences as a kid of seeing things as well, but, in this instance, during the middle of the night, the bathroom door just opened. Whether that was paranormal or not, but it was sitting like that for hours and hours and hours, and then it just decided to open. So, at the time, because I wanted to sleep, I chalked it up to, well, maybe the air conditioner turned on and the air blew it open, but, And then,
Was that that was not as a kid, you were older?
yeah, that was about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I woke up earlier, or later than that, but early in the morning, and kind of looked over, and the rocking chair was moving, and then it kind of stopped. Once I looked.
Mm.
So,
Was that here?
and Jerome.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, wow. Okay. Last question. Do you get deja vu or any weird occurrences? Just kidding. That's what I wanted.